So in the previous video, we talked about all the parts that you've got, and in the next one, I'm going to talk about the development of this. So functional development will be looking at this. How will this fit together? So if you take this apart, you can see it's got a thread there. It's got thread there, and it's got thread on the inside. This is called a little jet. It's got a tiny hole to let a little bit of gas through at a high speed, so you don't lose too much gas. Carburetors, those guys who know cars and carburetors, a carburetor will have jets in like this as well, which will let your fuel go into the car a little bit. So it's got a thread there, it's got a thread there, this thread and that thread fits on each other, so you can assemble this. Because this part is made out of casted aluminium, this part is made of a steel that's got a higher melting point, so that you can go really hot there. And it's got fine mesh in there as well, so because you don't want dirt to go in there, you just want the gas to come out and the flames burning around this. Then normally you have to start thinking of materials. So steel, which has got a high melting point, with it looks like a brass section there. This bit is casted aluminium because it's easy to manufacture. That bit is brass or copper again there because it's quite strong and corrosive. And that will be looks like a copper part as well. And this will just be a injection molded plastic. This will be a pressed steel, so it's a flat bit of steel that goes into two dies and it presses it. Then they press this thread in there, and that thread goes together with that. So that stuff, if you start off with your designs, like for instance these three ideas that I've drawn up here, you have to say, I want to develop this one further. I'll go and open a page and just start doing the one, I'll call it refinement or development. You can so the refinement will be, first draw your design again. I thought of an aeroplane's wing to think of this idea, and then I'll draw my burner there. So this is just a basic part. Now I can start thinking, going back to this, do I have all the parts on there? No. So I'll have to maybe think of this part. So I'll draw a 2D sketch of it quickly here, and then think of my adjusting part, the holes for the oxygen. You can put a heat adjuster there. You can draw it from the front to show that what you're going to use on it is maybe that. Or you can have another idea of having color to it. So have it red on this side and then blue on that side for cold. And then render that. Get a coloring pencil, render that blue and red. Then think this is quite smooth on the outside. It might slip if your hands are full of KFC fat and you want to open and close it. So maybe you'll have little bumps on the ends of it. Or maybe you'll have it like this one's got this easy thing to adjust. So maybe you'll think of a thing like this. So you guys, I want to see your thinking. This is sometimes stuff that we sort out in our heads. But if you don't put it on paper, you can't, the thinking process starts when you start sketching stuff. Because I just sketched this quickly and look how much ideas I got already out of this. So, and this is only functional development. There's not a lot of aesthetics going here. Then you can start thinking of aesthetics. Maybe my burner itself, if you draw the burner there, maybe you want to make it cooler than just a normal burner. And instead of having just holes there, you can have your holes in a certain pattern. Or you can have a cool logo on the top of it or something to give you aesthetics. Then the bottom part of it, that part that looks like the plane's wing, I can think of maybe putting a pattern on the side. Maybe I was thinking of 3 circles, or I can put a pattern on the top. Maybe little triangles or something like that to give it a bit of aesthetics, to make it look better. And a pattern or something like that will give it a little bit more, it looks more interesting than that one at the moment. And then you can think, maybe I have the body a silver color and the pattern in red or something like that. Or think of a different pattern. Maybe you want a pattern looking like this, or maybe hexagons. You have to play around with lots of ideas until you find stuff. If you find a cool cam stove on the net with a pattern on and you like that pattern, you can put that pattern on your design. Because for Merit Excellence, I want to see a balance between function and aesthetics. So function will be kind of this side, and aesthetics. And you don't have to do it on one page. You can do a whole page on aesthetics and do a whole page on function, or you can do it like I've done here. But keep on putting headings like that down. When I assess it, when your stuff gets sent away for external assessment, it's easy to see you've hit the points or you've made the stuff. And then a bit of writing. You can say, yeah, I like the shape, but it's quite boring. Then later, another function development might be this one. The gas canister won't fit into it. So you can scrap this idea, because a gas canister won't fit in there. It looks cool, but maybe I'm not going to do this one because of that. Okay, I want to see, say, just for a formula, 3 initial ideas, develop each one a little bit, choose the best one, and then refine that one to a working thing with thread and everything in there. Rough sizes on it, and then we can go to SolidWorks and draw it. Okay,